This is part of a series focusing on the basics of SolidWorks modeling. In this video, the topic of splines will be covered. There are three different options for creating splines. The first is a normal spline. This spline is created by creating points on your sketch which is connected by the spline. Once points have been created, there are spline handles that can be moved to modify the spline. If there are no spline handles visible, right-click on the spline and make sure that Show Spline Handles is selected. On each spline handle, there are three different handles that allow you to control the spline. The diamond handle allows you to adjust the angle of the direction vector at that point. The triangle handle adjusts the magnitude or size of the spline handle, which changes the magnitude of the spline at that point. The point at the end of the spline handle allows you to control both angle and magnitude at once. There are a number of different ways that dimensions can be placed on splines. Spline handles can be given relations such as vertical and horizontal in order to restrain their movement. Dimensions can be added to define the points in the spline. Radius dimensions at the spline point can be added by clicking the spline handle with the Smart Dimension tool selected. The angle of the spline handle can be defined by dimensioning from Align to the spline handle. When right-clicking the spline, there are a number of different options that can be selected. One key option is Display Control Polygon. This provides another way to modify the spline. When selected, a polygon appears that can be changed by dragging the yellow handles. With the spline right-clicked, there are a number of different controls that can be added to the spline, such as more spline points, curvature control, and tangency control. These allow further refinements to the spline. There is also an option to simplify the spline. This allows the number of points currently in the spline to be reduced. The next way to create a spline is by using equations. When equation-driven curve is selected from the Sketch Command Manager, a property manager will appear that allows either explicit or parametric equations to be entered. Equations can then be entered with parameters, and the curve will then be plotted in the sketch. A final way to create a spline is by using the Fit Spline. This tool connects lines that have already been created with the Spline tool. To use this tool, first draw lines that need to be connected. Then select the Fit Spline tool from the Sketch Command Manager. Now select the lines that were created before in the order that they will be connected. In the Property Manager on the left, there are a number of different options that can be used with this tool. The lines that were used to define the spline can be deleted if the Delete Geometry button is checked. If unchecked, the geometry will turn into construction lines when the spline is created. Another option is whether the spline created is closed or not. This option depends on what the spline will be used for. I hope these tips will be helpful when creating splines.